Jai Hind to all. This is Dr. Parneet Kaur, Assistant Professor in IT Department. Today we will going to look into a new topic of machine learning, that is artificial neural networks. So let's see and discuss about the topic. So if we look at the contents of the topic, we will going to discuss about the introduction to ANN. In short, artificial neural network is also known as ANN. Then we will look into the basic structure of ANN and how it works. Then we dig into the concept of perceptron and multi-layer perceptron related to ANN. And after that, we will go into some basics about the back propagation and what are the advantages of ANN. So let's begin. So first of all, we have to concentrate on what actually is artificial neural networks. If we look into the term of ANN, it refers to a biologically inspired subfield of AI, which is modeled according to our brain. And artificial neural networks is usually a computational network, which is based on biological neural networks that construct the structure of human brain. So it is very much similar to human brain, has neurons, we all know, and they are interconnected to each other. And in ANN, also we have neurons that are linked to each other in terms of, you can say, various layers of networks. And these neurons are known as nodes in case of ANN. Now let's see the diagram of ANN. If you can see here, it has a very much resemblance to our human brain. In this, you can see that we have, it is derived from a biological neural network that developed the structure of human brain, similar to the human brain that has neurons interconnected to one another. Artificial neural network also have neurons that are interconnected to one another in various layers of networks. And these neurons are known as nodes. So we can see here that different neurons are interconnected with each other in different forms of layers. And these layers, or we can say neurons, are known as nodes. Now the given figure illustrates the typical diagram of a biological neural network. It's a biological neural network which is present in our brain. It has a dendrite, it has a cell nucleus, it has an axons also, and it has a synapse also. Now, if we look at the structure of ANN, the typical ANN structure looks similar like the given figure, the previous figure. If we can see here, it is very much similar to it. Now here, the dendrites from biological neuron. The dendrites from biological neurons network represent input in ANN. So here, these dendrites, they are taken as input in case of ANN, the dendrites. They are very much similar to input. Cell nucleus represents the nodes. The cell nucleus, this part, it represents the nodes. The synapse represents the weights and the axon represents the output. So here we have these synapses. These are equivalent to weights, and we have these axons which are very much similar to the output. So they are our output. So we can see here that dendrite is equivalent to input, the cell nucleus is equivalent to nodes, the synapses are equivalent to weights, and the axons are similar to output. So if we look and make a structure of ANN, then here we have inputs, these are the nodes, and here we have a arrowhead which is connecting to them with a neuron, and these are the weights. So we know that weights are actually synapse here because they are also linking with the nodes. Similar here, we also have a link with the neurons. Then here we have the output which is equivalent to our axon. So this is an output which is very much similar to axon. Okay. So in this form, we form a ANN structure. Weights can be n number of weights, neurons can be n number of neurons or nodes. We have x1, x2, xn, up to n number of nodes can be there, but we have usually one or two outputs. Now, if we look at the relationship between biological neural network and ANN, then here we have dendrites. In that case, we have inputs in case of ANN. The cell nucleus are very much similar to nodes in case of ANN. The synapses are equivalent to weights. The axons are equivalent to output. Now, an ANN neural network in the field of artificial intelligence, where it attempts to mimic the network of neurons, make up a human brain, so that computer will have an option to understand things and to make decisions in human-like manner. If you look into this definition, it clearly says that the artificial intelligence really mimics the network of neurons, and it resembles very much to the human brains, so that our computer can also work according to it and make decisions according to human. They want to design such a network which is very much similar to the human brains, so that our computers can also take decisions according to human. There are around 1,000 billion neurons in the human brains, and each neuron has an axis, or you can say axons network. We can understand the artificial neural network with an example. Consider an example of digital logic gate that takes an input and gives an output. We have a digital logic gate. We know that in digital logic gate, we have either 0, 1, we have on or off, and we give an output according to it. If we look into OR gate, which takes two input, if one or both of them inputs are on, then we get output as on. And if both of them are off, then we get the output as off. Okay. The architecture of ANN. If we look into the architecture of ANN in detail, then we can see here we have this input layer, and as the name suggests, it accepts inputs in several different formats provided by the programmer. Okay, we can give the input in any form, either in the form of CSV files, either in the form of you can say digits, or you can say 0, 1s. Hidden layer, the hidden layer presents in between the input and the output layer. These two are the hidden layers which are present in between, and it performs all the calculations to find the hidden features and patterns of our you can say problem. Whatever problem we want to solve using ANN, it has a central part, that is the hidden part, and this hidden part focus on the features and the patterns. And then we have the output layer. The output layer, if we look, the input goes through a series of transformations using the hidden layer, which finally result in the output layer conveyed using this layer. The ANN takes input and computes the weighted sum. If you look into this word, this is weighted sum of the inputs, and includes a bias. Then we have a bias also. The computation is represented in the form of transfer function. So whatever weight is applied to the input, the product is obtained, and then a bias function is also applied on it. This whole process moves forward, and it is represented in the form of a transfer function. It determines weighted total is passed as an input to an activation function. We have an activation function where we pass the input weighted total in order to produce the output. The activation function is choose whether a node should fire or not. Only those who are fired make it to the output layer. So activation function plays very main role or major role in the ANN, because it decides that which neurons should be fired or moved forward so that they can become a part of output layer, and which neurons should be neglected. Okay. So that is this. There are different types of activation functions which are applied according to the problem. So this is the general, you can say, equation. This equation says that we have weight. Weight is denoted by Wi. We have inputs which are denoted by X, and then we add a bias function in it so that we can make the output stable. Okay. So that it does not, you can say, dominate the output, or it does not gives us the undesirable output. We want an output in a very well-mannered form. Okay. So for that we put some bias on it. We can take n number of weights according to n number of inputs. That's why it's a summation of the product of Wi and Xi, and with that we add a bias. Next is the concept of perceptron and multi-layer perceptron. Now we have seen the basic structure of ANN. We have seen that how it resembles to the human brain. Now next thing is that we should look into the concept of perceptron. So if you look at the perceptron, it's a simple form of neural networks and it consists of a single layer where all the mathematical computations are performed. So you can see here, this is a single layer concept. Okay, we have initially the inputs, we have the weights related to the edges, or you can say these synapses, and then we have a neuron which gives us the output. So it's only a single layer. We have input, we have weight related to it, and then we get the output. Okay. But if we look into the multi-layer perceptron, we have in between the hidden layers, and then we move to the output layer. So that was missing in case of perceptron. We don't have any hidden layer, but here in case of multi-layer perceptron, we have this hidden layer. So multi-layer perceptron is also known as ANN. It consists of more than one perceptions which is grouped together to form a multi-layer network. The input layer with 6 inputs, you can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 inputs. Hidden layers, this is one hidden layer which has 1, 2, 3, 4 nodes. You can say hidden nodes, or we can say 4 perceptrons also. We also call them 4 perceptrons. Then this is our hidden layer 2, which has also 1, 2, 3, 4 hidden nodes. And then we have only one output node. So this is a basic structure of multi-layer perceptron. Now, let's see the working of ANN. In the first step, the input units are passed, these input layers. You can see these inputs are passed with some weight. We can see here these are the weights related to them which are attached to it and to the hidden layer also. We can have any number of hidden layers. As I already told you, in case of multi-layer perceptron, we can have 3, 4 or n number of hidden layers. And then in the above image inputs x1, x2, x3 up to xn, these xn are passed. Here you can see small b, that is bias function, which is passed with a value of 1. Then you have this equation, you can say it's an equation. These are the weights of connection, these are the inputs, and this is the bias. So if you look here, we have a simple equation related to it. We have a product of input with the weights and we add a bias in it. Then after that, we have a threshold unit and then we get the output related to it. The threshold unit shows us the curves, the graphs which we get. Now, each hidden layer consists of neurons. We know that these are comprised of neurons. All the inputs are connected to each neuron. So we can say that all the inputs, whatever inputs we have, either in the form of 0 or 1, they are connected with these neurons. After passing on the inputs, all the computation is performed in the hidden layer. So whatever the computation take place with the inputs as well as with the, you can say, the weights, they are performed in the hidden layer, which is a blue part. You can see here, this is the blue oval portion where hidden layers are there and they perform the computation. First of all the inputs are multiplied by their weights, and weight is a gradient or coefficient of each variable. So this weight is actually a gradient function related to each variable, and all the input values are multiplied with it. It shows the strength of the particular input. After assigning the weights, then a bias variable is also added. So what actually is this bias? A bias is a constant that helps the model to fit in the best way possible. So in order to make our model to get best fitted according to the problem, we make use of this bias function. It can be small value also from 0.6, 0.8 to 1, but not more than that. Then we have Z1, which is, you can say, a product of weight with input, then weight with input, then we take a summation, plus we add a bias also. So these weights are assigned to the input and bias. Then in the second step, the activation function is applied to the linear equation. This is the linear equation. The activation function is a non-linear transformation that is applied to the input before sending it to the next layer of neurons. So if we want to send the whole set of this equation to the next hidden layer, we have to perform this action first. Then the computation steps comes. The whole process described in point 3 is performed in each hidden layer, and after passing through every hidden layer, we move to the last layer, that is our output layer, which gives us the final output. The process is explained above. It is known as forward propagation. So whatever we take in one direction only, from, you can say, from left to right, the process is going on. Inputs are multiplied with their weights, and then the sum is taken plus the bias is added. So the whole concept is going in a linear manner, or we can say linear fashion, from left to right. So that concept is called as forwarding propagation. After getting the prediction from the output layer, if the error is calculated, we calculate the error also, because if it doesn't get the desired output, then we calculate the error, that how much less output we are getting, or what is our desired output. So the difference between the actual and the predicted output is called as error. And if the error is very large, then the steps are taken to minimize the error, and for the same purpose, the back propagation is performed, which means that we have to repeat the whole process again. We move backward, we rechange, or we can edit some weights values, and then apply the whole process, then again calculate, and if we again see that a difference between the actual and the predicted output is huge, then we repeat the process, and we do it again and again until and unless we get the desired output. So parallel processing capability. So if we look at the artificial intelligence advantages or cons of ANN, the first one is that it has a parallel processing capability, because ANN have a numerical value that can perform more than one task simultaneously. So it can perform n number of tasks. Then storing data on the entire network. So data that is used in traditional programming is stored on the whole network. The disappearance of couple of pieces of data in one place doesn't prevent the network from working, but this scenario doesn't occur in case of ANN. Then capability to work with incomplete knowledge. After ANN training, the information may produce output even with inadequate data also. The loss of performance here relies upon the significance of missing data. So whatever, because if we don't get the desired data, it means some information is missing. So that is easily find out in case of ANN. Then having memory distribution. For ANN is to be able to adapt, it is important to determine the examples and to encourage the network according to the desired output. So we have to design our network or output in such a manner that we can get the desired output. Having fault tolerance. Extortions of one or more cells of ANN does not prohibit it from generating output. So this feature will make the network fault tolerance. If any one of the neurons in between are not functioning properly, they are, you can say, damaged, then also we get the desired result. So it has a capability of fault tolerance. There are certain disadvantages also of ANN. The first one is that assurance of proper network structure, that is very much important. While designing an ANN, we must have a proper network structure. Through our experience, trials and errors, we improve our structure. Then unrecognized behavior of the network is very important, because it's the most significant issue of ANN. When ANN produces a testing solution, it does not, you can say, provide insight concerning why and how it takes place. It decreases trust in the network. Then it also has a very good hardware dependency. So that must be there in case of ANN, which needs a processor with parallel processing power as per the structure. Therefore, the realization of the equipment is dependent. It should be there in case of ANN. Then we have a difficulty of showing the issues to the network. ANN can work with numerical data, problems that must be converted into numerical values. Before being introduced to ANN, the presentation mechanism to be resolved here will directly impact the performance. It means that we have, or we must have, a data which is in numerical form. Okay, we cannot give unstructured form of data to the ANN. The duration of the network is unknown. The network is reduced to a specific value of error, and this value gives us the optimum result. So this is also a flaws of ANN, that network is reduced to a specific value of error. So these are the references. You can go through them, and you can also search more details about the ANN. Thank you all, and Jai Hind.